You denied a $539 inhaler. A 22-year-old had to choose rent, and as a result, he's dead. This is Aaron from Social Work. I'm calling about case number 774589. Yeah, this is a 22-year-old. He was denied the inhaler. Yep. Well, I'm calling to let you know that he's not going to need that anymore. He made the choice that he was going to pay his rent, like most people, and unfortunately, he didn't make it. He died. He had an asthmatic attack because he didn't have the inhaler. He didn't have the inhaler because you denied it, because you were proposing step therapy. You wanted him to fail a couple other more conservative treatments. And that gamble on him failed for him. Yeah, he could have paid out of pocket $539. That was his rent. How would you expect that he was going to make that? Don't say step therapy. You told a 22-year-old to keep struggling until their lungs proved that they deserved help. That's what you said. Look, I'm not calling to argue or fight this with you. I am calling so that someone has to read this transcript back and that it's part of the record.
This is the book of Micah, chapter 2, verse 10. Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction. I want to first and foremost start off by giving all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash. Double honors unto the elders and apostles of the great millstone, who rule well and teach well, in sincerity and charity. Peace and salutation to the Lord's beloved elect. I'm the brother Yahweh Saparak, coming at you with a short lesson today. The Spirit, Lord willing, is edifying and exhorting. As you could see in the video played previously, a 22-year-old didn't make it because he had to pay $539 for an inhaler. All right, something in order to breathe, medicine, life-saving medicine. He was denied because of his insurance company that he was using. He had to pay rent, and he, had an ultimatum to make, and therefore he suffered and died because of it. All right, but this just highlights the wicked, shitty society that we're living in. All right, that has no mercy on its people, that has no care, no empathy. All right, it's passing away. We gotta understand that, man. This, as well as many other things that you see going along online, just highlight how shit of a world this really is, and how we ultimately need to be delivered out of this place. All right, we ultimately need to be delivered out of this place swiftly. And we pray that the Lord does that. This is the book of Job 9 and 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covered the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? So that's Esau, Edom. Starting off with the banking families, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, all right, creating the banking system, all right, creating the medical system that sets up a foundation for individuals to get denied to where they can't even receive proper treatment. All right. And this is why there's, all this shit happening right now, man. People are just being denied. People are not able to get medicine. They're dying. They're suffering. And the Lord ordains everything, but it's getting into a time and place where there is no care. The love of many is waxing worse and worse each and every day. This is the book of Matthew 12 and 13. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that endures unto the end, the same shall be saved. All right, so the love of many is waxing worse and worse in these times that we're living in. I'm going to bring that out in the GNC. It says, such will be the spread of evil that many people love will grow cold. All right, so yeah, man, this is a cold world we live in. All right, we can go on and on. It's defiled and it's really falling apart, but we got to understand that we're not from this world. We're not from this world, and we're not supposed to be of this world. This is the book of Romans 12 and 2. And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yahweh. All right? So we're supposed to be out of this world in the way of mindset, thinking, philosophies, lust. We're supposed to separate ourselves. We're called to be separate, set apart, and transformed by renewing our mind in these scriptures, proving what is that good and acceptable in the eyes of Yahweh by Shemel Shai. All right, and we understand the men and women serving the Lord in truth and sincerity that we're not supposed to be of this world, and this world is going to pass away. All right, as well as the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of the Heavenly Father will abide forever. All right, we're seeking a kingdom to come, as the scriptures say. I'm going to bring this out as well. Matthew 6:33, but seek ye first the kingdom of Yahweh and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added on to you. All right. But we seek a kingdom to come. All right. And that leads me after this to bring out Colossians 3:2, Hebrews 13:14. For we have no continuing city, but we seek one to come. All right. So the kingdom that we have is being prepared for us, but we have to go through these hardships and these times in order to get out. But this just highlights the example of how this world is defiled, man. There's no building back better. There's no riding off into the sunset. You're living in a time right now where gas is at an all-time high. You can't afford good food. The food's defiled. All right, the earth is defiled. The land is defiled. The people are defiled. It's an adulterous generation, and you people want to go and get a retirement fund and ride off into the sunset and get some land and raise a fucking family and become grandmothers and grandfathers. All right, bug the fuck out, man. All right, if you can't see that, you're gonna get destroyed along with these people. All right, $539 fucking dollars for an air asthma thing to be able to breathe. This is a place that we're living in, man. You think it's gonna get better? You think suddenly with the snap of a finger it's just gonna change, and the rulers, the wicked rulers that are in power right now, are just gonna make things better? No, man. They want to kill everybody. They want to have everybody on a fucking system, man. All chipped up with the RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast. All right. This is why we need to pray that the Lord comes back and destroys this place. All right. This is why it's so important that we set our affection on the things above, as the book of Colossians 3:2 goes into. Set your affection on the things above, not on the things on the earth. All right. You got to get out of the mindset of setting your affection on the things above. All right, because we have a kingdom that is soon to be prepared for us, so long that we endure to the end. All right, we'll be saved. All right, we'll be saved, and we gotta constantly remember that, man. That this kingdom that's gonna be prepared for us, we're not gonna have to go through issues anymore, man. We're not gonna go through health ailments. We're not gonna go through having to fight to get medication. All right, a lot of us have watched people around us die because they couldn't afford medicine. Ultimately, the Lord ordained that, but the point that I'm trying to make is that this place is just falling apart. All right. We got to have the mindset that we're leaving this world, man, as pilgrims and sojourners. This is the book of First Peter. Oh no, Hebrews. Pilgrims, strangers, abstain. First Peter 2:11. Dearly beloved, I beseech you as strangers and pilgrims, abstain from fleshly lust, which war against your soul. All right. So we have to abstain from these lusts, man, these things of the world that war against our soul. And in that particular situation, this guy was dealing with medical issues, wasn't able to afford it. But the point that I'm trying to make here in this lesson is that we can't hold on to this world, man, because you could just see that's a prime example of how this world will treat you. If you choose to stay in it, man, that's how they treat you, man. They use you and they spit you out. There's no care, man. There's no care. Love of many is waxing worse and worse, and we're still in the green tree. Imagine what's going to be done in the dry, man. These people will leave you to rot to death. All right, this is why it's so important to not, trust these people, not trust man, but trust the Lord. The Lord will direct your steps. All right, you got to have faith that the Lord's going to deliver you out of this. All right, that we're going to finally be in a kingdom to come where we'll be finally at rest. This is the book of Hebrews 11 and 13. These all died in the faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off, and were persuaded of them, and embraced them, and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on earth. All right, so we see these things afar off. All right, we see that this is our life here is just only for a moment. It appeareth and vanisheth like a vapor. All right, and this is why it's so important now more than ever before to seek the Lord with all your heart, to really give everything to the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai in these times. And this coming into the Passover is a time to really reflect on that and understand, man, this is what we have to live for, man, and we continue to stay in this world. High prices, defiled land, adulterous woman, no care whatsoever from these people. This is why we need the Lord, man. This is why we need Yahweh Shemel Shai to save us and deliver us. So I just want to make this lesson really quick. Just bring out this point. Continue to have your affection set on the things above. Keep moving forward, man. Keep praying. All right, keep hoping for the Lord to speed up these times swiftly and deliver us out of this captivity that we're in. So with that being said, Lord willing, this is quick, edifying, and straight to the point. I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rokakadash, double honors unto the elders and apostles at Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. Peace and salutation unto the Lord's beloved elect. Shalom.